Welcome to the Comfortable in Chaos Podcast. Strangle your demons and let's go.
Y'all need Jesus!
All right, here we go. Welcome to the Comfortable in Chaos Podcast. I am your host, Eric Hellberg, and you know we're like Einstein over here. Damn it, yeah, I just slapped my knee. We have no special talents, although really many of my listeners do have very distinguishing characteristics. But all of us, if we have a life to still live, should be passionately curious about all things pertaining to men. How in the hell did we get here? And where is it that we want to go? First off, my apologies, men. Been a little bit lame because I have been tired and eking a few things out. I think indicative of that was my episode on Trudeau yesterday and all things Canadian. We won't stay there, just simply all my Canadian listeners know what a buffoon and how that family has bilked them for many, many years with their gallivanting around, fornicating around, sweetheart deals being cut around, much akin to our own government. So we're symbiotic in that nature. And it goes down to this, really. There are oftentimes many things that we cannot control in life, but we can control ourselves. And if you're having a problem doing so, that's an entirely different issue. And if you are not currently content with your life or where it is, let's take back control. And that is cliche by simply showing up for ourselves. The one person that you can hold into account is your own accountability. So let's get it, man. Oftentimes in life we hear behind every great man is a great woman. And you know what? In large part that is true. Because while the man went out to hunt, while the man went out to strive, while the man went out to exercise whatever it is that he did, oftentimes we have kids in the mix. So someone had to hold down that home front, and vice versa. There are women now, many of them performing in these same capacities. Well, someone needs to do the same thing back at home. And in many respects these days, it is the men. So they are holding up their other alter ego. That being said, since it is a show for men, we do have women listeners. I'll tell you another thing that can happen that will help you pursue being content and taking further control. Oftentimes, a strong woman can push that man to his very limits. Maybe she left him alone. Maybe she did not encourage him. Maybe there were other derogatory things. Maybe even said strong woman never believed in him or stopped. Maybe she broke his heart. Since men do have hearts, feelings, albeit they are expressed differently. But here's where the turn can occur. That pain, that aloneness can now become your driver. Use it to find that greatness for what it is that you truly want to pursue and those loved ones around you still, whereby you have influence. And as a man, never, ever diminish the fact that you have influence over others. The devil will tell you otherwise, and a strong woman in the examples I just mentioned will let you know that as well. But that is not the case, men. If you are not content, sit down and ponder it. It should not take long. Surely there is something that you can be proud of. There had to be an instance whereby you showed your mettle. You stood up for something that you believed. You performed in something whereby other men simply do not do that. They would never even fathom undertaking that. And or you were simply cool under fire when people were trying to dissuade you otherwise. And then what I want you to do, since you are the litmus test for your own children, because they count on you, and unbelievably so, never diminish that. You are their guides. And between you and your kids, you are like magnets. They come out perfect from the womb. We shape them and guide them, not just simply with the DNA we've provided, but how we act with them, what we tell them, how we encourage them. So just like you did for yourself, do it for your kids. Go up to each and every one of them. You specify your own time frame and look at each one and tell them, I am proud of you. And they're going to be like, well, Daddy, why? And then you simply flip it on them. And you'd be like, I know, I've watched it many times, but I want you to tell me one time whereby you were proud. Yeah, when you went the other way, when all your other friends were drinking, or you called as you had walked away, and I went and picked you up at a party instead of you getting in the car with someone who was drinking, or you dislocated yourself from a group that did not have the best intentions for you, or you were on the mound, the bases were loaded, you had to get one more out, and maybe you even walked a runner. But then you got the guy to hit a weak ground ball and your team still had the lead as you closed out the inning. Trials under fire. Trials under fire. There are plenty of things to be proud of. Find one in yourself. Use that as fodder and give it to your kids for this day, here and now. And we can do it again tomorrow. I remember one time, I was about to leave the house. I had a road trip coming up, and I was going to have to get through Houston, Dallas, West Texas, back down through the valley before I could ever make it home. And these were all places that I had stayed home as long as I possibly could, but all these clients wanted me there yesterday. And I was going to go bag up some dudes, man. I mean, in Houston, I would roll in there. I'd already done my background, strategically placed my efforts. I had an idea where I could look for equipment. And I'd roll up if it wasn't fleets. Let's just say it was singles, man. Just single owner operators. And I needed to go snatch some stuff out from under them. I'd bag 3 or 4 of these tractors in a night, park it behind a hotel, and then I would deliver it once we got up if we had adequate time to sleep in that hotel. If not, I'd sleep right in my car if I was rolling through the night. And I started off leaving Beaumont, and my first account was in Huffman, Texas. Dude was out in the country. I'm just getting going on this trip. So I park a new partner in my excursion. He's outside the property. I walk in. There's my old Freightliner Century class. And these suckers were notorious. If they sat up, man, you had to have optimum air pressure to release the cams and engage them into drive off. And I was like, okay, there it is. Somewhat dead to rights. The only thing is it is literally 8 feet away from the front porch of this dude's mobile home. Well, I got a late start. It's about 0100 hours, 1 in the morning already. But I crawl in there with my tools, get up on the running boards, garner entry, excuse me, hot wire this Century class. It fires up immediately, which is heaven sent, because I'm back in this dude's property in the middle of the night. Soon as it fired up, man, that porch light comes on. I have no air pressure. It's been sitting there. Does that mean it's been sitting there because it's in op? There's a mechanical issue, but it fired up. So I'm weighing all these things in milliseconds in my mind, and I know my time is very short because the light is now on. I am gunning the accelerator so that I can build up air pressure and release these cams. I need at least 28 pounds PSI and or 30 to release them. I put the interlock in because where the tandems are, meaning the dual wheels in the back, it's kind of in a little divot and or low area. I'm getting close. The front door opens. Dude comes out, his long john bottoms, no top, shotgun in hand. I'm very, very close. My passenger window is immediately adjacent to his porch. And in about that time, when he levels that shotgun, I depress my yellow brake handle and I gun it for all that it's worth. And I don't think even the cams fully released, but they did somewhat. I fly out of that divot as he fires that first shot with that number 4 buck. It comes through the sleeper. Had I not moved about those 6 to 8 inches, it would have went through the window, killed me there. But instead, it shot through the sleeper, fiberglass sleeper. I launched, got somewhat a little bit airborne, hit. I'm shifting gears as I roll out of that lane. And that number 4 buckshot rattled around like a pinball machine and then fell. I get through my gears. I make my right-hand turn onto Highway 90. My partner, who's new to this, he peels out on the excursion, fishtails to follow me. I go rolling about a good mile, dragging one of these duals, smoke, everything. At that point, what I do is I make a hard stop, get some clearance, I back up, I break that cam, thank God it broke, but I know I'm good where I'm at now. And I break it, then we go down the road a little bit more and I go to a quick hiding spot. And he's like, what the fuck, man? The guy's shooting at him. I'm like, dude, come on. I'm the one getting shot at. It's all good. Don't draw attention to us. Drive that damn car smooth. And that's what you call putting the process first. A process whereby you were in peril. And the only thing I was really worried about was executing. That situation taught me more because there were going to be many more exact circumstances like that. I knew the interplay of the brake system, the interlock, and how to fire off should I end up in that situation again. And I did. But I wanted the guy behind me to be calm, cool, and collected because your mind is everything when you slow it down and you have to perform. But I remember that was just the beginning of that trip. and just to get ready to go, and that was my very first account. And I had been told before, why are you going out to do this right now? Well, it was because I had to. And that culminated into something meaningful in our lives. And no one lamented it when it changed the trajectory of literally whole generations of two families. So you do have something to be proud of, man. Find out one thing. Put that in your personal bank today. And let's drive on with the mission. So until next time on the Comfortable in Chaos podcast, I bid you bon voyage, my burgeoning flock.
Until next time, like and subscribe to the Comfortable in Chaos